Good morning, agents, and welcome back. I am rdwrer, and I create videos for Ingress, which is the global GPS-based mobile game focused on territory acquisition from Niantic, makers of Pokemon Go. I say that because this is a slightly different video, and I'm hoping that this is one of the videos that potentially helps you understand a little bit more about the game, and so it might be the first video you see. Check out my other videos, especially the How to Ingress playlist for more about the game and how to play it. But today we're talking about Ingress playstyles, and these are sort of my biased opinions about the people I see playing around me and the people I've seen, that I've met across different states, different places. And I'm hoping that some of these will apply to you. Might not be that you are just one of these. I know I am definitely multiple of these, but I thought that these were interesting enough archetypes that I'd throw them out there and see if anybody identified with any of them. So without further ado, let's begin. First up is the farmer. The farmer lives in a place with a lot of portals, but they don't really have any opposition. I say enlightened players here because I'm a resistance agent, but basically they live in a place where there's only one game in town, and they have level 8 portals for days because of it. They burn out their regular portals multiple times a day. They have a path that they take, they farm it, and they get lots of gear from it. They probably are recycling level 8 bursters all the time. But if they don't recycle it, they definitely give it away. They give it to nearby agents who maybe don't live in the sort of dense level 8 farm and are fighting a little bit more with some enlightened players. And this player type, out of necessity, does a lot of recharging. They're burning out those portals specifically to get cubes because they have to recharge upwards of 100, 200, 300 level 8 portals per day. And that is a lot of cubes, for sure. Next up, the fielder. This is not, we're going to talk about a different fielding type in a minute, but this is the sort of person who has their own sort of field set that they make sure is always up. I guess I could have called this the consistent fielder. They almost always work in a team because it's really hard to have a field of a pretty big size that you are only doing on your own consistently. They win cell scores, like they win cycles for the resistance for sure, but they don't need a whole lot of gear to do this. Especially if it's something that's been up for a really long time, people on the other side know not to go there because it's going to, whatever they do is just going to go down, and that field's going to go right back up. So it's kind of a waste of time for them. And this is the other fielding type, the Bathmaster. They come up with crazy plans that could never work, but then they make them work. They throw fields every once in a while, not every day, but they're really big fields. Like, we're talking covering an entire metro area or potentially even bigger. They do need a big team. I've definitely, in situations where I've played this part, I've played with upwards of 50 agents for a day, but they don't need a whole lot of gear, as it turns out, because most of the time when you're playing a part in a bigger operation, you're only killing one portal or fully deploying one portal, or maybe even just hacking portals to get keys, so you don't need a whole lot of gear for that. Next up, the rural player. This is kind of the opposite of the farmer. They live in the middle of frickin' nowhere. They're always struggling to finish their bounties. They have a lot of level 5 portals close by, but nobody upgrades them because they live so far away from everything. And anytime either faction is going through their town, they are ready, right? If the Enlightened are throwing a big field through their town, they are there to block it, to destroy the anchors, to do anything. If the Resistance are throwing a big field through their town, they're there to clear blockers, to deploy target anchors, to help farm keys, to drive endlessly to deliver keys. These guys are the backbone of the big fields. The Stat Chaser has recursed innumerable times. has onyx with wings on pretty much every badge that you can possibly have onyx and wings on, and will happily drive an absurd amount of time in a single day if they want to get a badge tick for mission day or for Saturday. But somehow they're still really bad at the game. Like, they focus so hard on maximizing their stats that they don't understand the strategy and tactics of it, and so they end up kind of screwing their team as a result. The organizer knows every single agent that exists, somehow has a recruiter badge, despite the fact that it is impossible to get people to play this game, even people who already played this game. Plans events and meetups for local agents regularly, and generally keeps the local community alive, and then happily takes on the point of contact duty when an anomaly comes to town, and then promptly burns out right after the anomaly. The Lone Wolf installed the game years ago because they wanted to be able to nominate Pokestops or use the Intel map or whatever, but then recently has rediscovered the app and logged back on and has started playing again. They link to their home portal from wherever they happen to be, and most especially if that will block whatever you're trying to do. They don't respond to comm pings, and they never join any local chats. This is arguably the worst player. But close second, the Stalker. This person has one agent that they care about beating. They follow them absolutely everywhere, travel with them, see a notification and just hop in the car and go. They probably have a Google alert for the agent name of their nemesis, and maybe they need to chill out either a little or a lot. The patient event goer. This is the sort of person who loves anomalies, mission days, IFS events, but they will never travel for those things. They will attend any of those events if they happen in the city that they live in, but only if somebody pings them personally, because they don't read the Ingress news. Why would they? They're not going to, go and travel most of the time, so there's no point in checking the news just to see, oh, nope, there's no event here. So this is a pretty bad kind of agent too, if I'm being honest. The keyboard agent. This is the sort of person who played a whole lot in the past. They made a name for themselves and people trust them now, but that means that now they are the go-to person to run intel for every single anomaly, and they don't have any time to do anything else, and they kind of wish they could still play Ingress. And that's all I could come up with. Which kind of agent are you? Put that in the comments, please, and let me know. Also, let me know if there's any agent types that I missed, because I came up with 10, and I thought, well, that's probably good enough, but I'm sure there are more agent archetypes that exist here. And also, there's probably a few that exist as sort of combinations of these, and I'd love to know what you would call different combinations of different agent types in this list. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. This is a slightly different video. I actually have a lot of stuff that I want to get done today that does not allow me to do a lot of Ingress time. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video, because that is how the YouTube algorithm knows to recommend this to more people. Subscribe also to the channel so you know when my next video comes out. Hopefully tomorrow it will be an actual Ingress video as opposed to this. Comment again what kind of agent type you are, and if I missed any, and if you disagree with any of my definitions. Also, in the description you'll find a link to my gaming channel where I do longer form content on sort of open world games. I don't just play Ingress is the point. And also check the description for a link to my Patreon where you can subscribe and support me financially each month. We actually lost a Patreon subscriber, sadly. Not like they're dead, but they stopped paying. So the people who are supporting me over on Patreon right now are BigBadaBoom, Minnesota Resistance, and Teri Lynn. So thank you all for supporting my work here. That's all I have for you today, agents. Again, I am super busy today, but hopefully tomorrow will be a better one for doing some actual Ingress work. And thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.